Hello. Um, I wanna just make a video talking about fighting and different stuff, I guess. I really enjoy the talking videos. Hold on. Oh no. Them probably my favorite. I really enjoyed making that escort video. Probably my favorite video I've made. And I kind of want to do more of them, but like truly don't really have much to talk about. So I kind of want to do these videos, I guess, I don't know, whenever. I'll probably make one after the new Crossroads update comes out as well. Because there's not really much to talk about at the moment, is there? In terms of the game. Okay. So, what should we talk about first? The balance. The game's pretty balanced. Obviously, when it comes to open servers, everything is OP, right? But I feel like the one character who is genuinely the biggest issue, Hyperlaser. I mean, wow, I could say, Scare or Coil, right? But truthfully, I don't think they are as big of an issue as people make them out to be. I feel like Scare is too fast, dare I say. I mean, I know the whole thing is being fast, right? But he is so fast, and he just has a lot of damage. And the fact that there's only a few characters, like, okay, a lot of things can CC him, right? But like, you need like an immense amount of skill to deboard him. Unless you're playing Hyperlaser. Again, Hyperlaser. Then Coil is kind of just is actually really frustrating to play against on literally any fighter. He's able to go in, engage, easily get out with his speed and gravity, and then he's fine. He definitely takes a lot of skills. So does Skate, right? That's both them two are given. However, you just get a lot given to them. I mean, actually, it's not really given to them though if it takes a crap ton of skill. So maybe I'm a bit wrong in that aspect. But still, I feel like maybe it's coming from a Vine, me being a Vine main. I don't even find them that much of an issue. I always find Skate pretty easy to deboard. I haven't been against like a really good Skate for a long time. I think I've been against like a decent Skate as of recent, but I kept on beating them. So I'm still waiting to go against a good Skate and a good Coil as well. But yeah, I just a lot of sustain, a lot of speed from Skate, which isn't that much of an issue, but you can definitely kill like a Skate if you're just able to aim as like what, slingshot or medkit. But you know, when the Skate actually knows how to control fast speed, you're kind of just a bit screwed, to be honest. And with how much damage he gets while he's off board, that is kind of an unbearable. It can be unbearable. Like, even just getting off, you do 80 damage, and that's kind of hard to stop, right? Unless you're fine staff. Anyways, then Coil, I feel like Coil's issues are kind of obvious. I feel like, in general, Skate's issues are more prevalent. I feel like Skate's kind of just a mess in terms of design. Like, he's trying to be Lucio, except way damage orientated for starters, but way faster and a lot more skill dependent, which isn't a bad thing. Then Hyperlaser, who this was originally about, is just generally a horrible character. Truly, I think the fact that they have two moves dedicated to anti-dive is ridiculous. No, you could say that's the same for Widow, right? Widow from Overwatch, except one of the moves is genuinely next to useless, and then the other has an incredibly long cooldown. We look at Hyper Laser's cooldown for the slide. 10 seconds is not that long of a time, dare I say. 10 seconds is very lenient, I feel. Like, even, like, it definitely makes your boss, like, you don't have to think whether, oh, should I use the ability or not? Because you use the ability, you get the free. Basically, it just, like, you don't really get that option. Well, you don't need that option unless you've against a team of full dive. And even then, it's not that big of an issue because of Hyper Laser's insane damage. The fact that you can get up to 100 damage on a headshot is kind of ridiculous. Because I'm not gonna lie, headshots are not difficult to hit. Like, in general, Hyper Laser is not difficult. I feel like the only thing I personally struggle with when it comes to Hyper Laser is his insane, not insane, his ult. For some reason, can't ever aim it. I'm fine at aiming everything else. Fine at aiming everything else, but I just cannot aim. Hyper Laser's ult way too strong. And I feel like just the choice of adding the slide was genuinely a terrible one. The Q, the grenade, whatever it's called, whatever you want to call it, is really strong, right? That quite literally stopped the diver in their tracks. And it's quite insane. And you can just get out of any danger. Unless you're against, like, what? Biograph? But let's be honest, you can kind of dip a Biograph. Unless the bio is in ult. And not even just that. Hyper Laser really does not take that much skill. But then just Hyper Laser. This isn't taking comp into account, by the way, because I feel like everything is different when it comes to comp, right? When it comes to opens, everything is strong, right? Everything. However, just Hyper Laser is too strong, dare I say. Whenever it comes to, like, one certain character dominating a server, an open server, typically you'll see it be Hyper Laser, Slingshot, or Katana. And what do all three of them have in common? Well, actually no, only two. Slingshot and Hyper Laser are hit scan, which is I don't like hit scan. Hit scan is very boring in my opinion. Just it doesn't require much skill. I don't care what anyone says. You could argue with me about how Slingshot and Hyper Laser require a bunch of skill, but I will not listen because I do not. You can't change my mind. I'm sorry. What skill do they require? I mean, aiming, is that not a transferable skill? That isn't something unique to them. I'd argue Vine Staff takes 10 times more skill with how much you can do with E than Hyper Laser will ever require. Okay, I've spoken enough about Hyper Laser now. I think you get my point. How about I talk about Katana, actually, because I want to talk about Katana, because I feel like there's some things what I want to talk about, what I've kind of seen some people say. One specific thing being that Katana is not really a tank anymore. And while I agree, he, in sense, isn't as much of a tank as he used to be, I think he's so, like, he's a million times more interesting of a character and a fighter. I wish they did more with his shield. I guess maybe live a bit longer. Because I feel like that could have been his, like, tankiness, right? That could have been what made him a tank. And it kind of is. It kind of is what makes him be a tank, which is good. But I just feel like his shield should have been a more apparent part in his kit. And it is. But that's only for the hook. And genuinely, the hook is not a great move. It's kind of a lame move. I'm not a fan of it. It's probably the worst. Do I go as far as saying it's almost the worst move in the game? Not in terms of like strength, in terms of like just game design. I have never liked Hog's hook ability in what's it called, in Overwatch, and the fact that it's just katanas feels horrible. I'm gonna be honest. Katanas, I just hate it, and I don't like it. That's my opinion though. But yeah, I think katana. The idea that katana is no longer a tank as such is just very wrong. Yes, katana definitely doesn't have as much survivability and definitely relies on a healer a lot more than he used to. I don't think that's a bad thing. Dare I say, I feel like while I don't think healers definitely should, I definitely don't think healers should be mandatory. I also don't think healers should. I also just think healers should be a little bit more necessary than they are now. I mean, they definitely are necessary, right? But I feel like you don't need them as much. And you kind of just do need a healer even more now when it comes to katana, but I also just do not care about that. Katana, at the end of the day, the shield kind of just shows that he's a tank even more, I guess. I feel like the idea that tanks need a crap ton of shield regen just to be a tank is not it. I don't think it's that interesting. I feel like that's very boring. And I'm glad Katana was changed because while he's now a lot more similar to Banhammer than he was before, he's still very, in ways, similar to how he was before. When I say that, I mean he's still very much a brawl tank, which is good. I'm glad they kept his brawly playstyle, and I'm really glad you implemented a shield. Because I feel like you can work around the shield a lot more. And he feels like Banhammer is a very solo tank, right? I guess a lot like how you'd like Winston maybe, or Diva, right? They play with the team. They play very solo and dive. Katana is a lot more team orientated with his hook and shield, which kind of just like further shows his playstyle, right? Do you get what I mean? Like the fact that he doesn't have as much shield regen, that just kind of shows that he's supposed to be playing with his team, but still like very divey. Not divey, but like moving in with his team. He isn't like the type of tank which is supposed to truly be solo diving, but it's open servers, what do you expect? Any tank will demolish. Unless I'm the one playing tank, I will get demolished then. Because, you know, people don't like me. People don't like trying to help me. I've been on about characters for a long time. Moral of the story, I think Katana is in a really good position. I think he's probably one of the most well-designed characters. Apart from the hook, Banhammer just has like some insane survivability, and I feel like it would have been incredibly boring to keep Katana's survivability the same as it used to. Because I feel like having two tanks who are just insane on self-sustain would be a bit boring. Maps. I want to talk about maps because I feel like that is something which is a very important part of the game, right? Maps. I love the new changes, what they did to Protect Telemon and Domino Valley. And did they do any more? They did Hotel Elephant, but I haven't played Hotel Elephant for a long time. That map is god awful, genuinely. What did they do to it? Yeah, this map change I think is probably one of the best out of them. Being able to go up here without having to go all the way around just to get here. Great change. Great change. There's more cover, which is a good thing. Here, some cover so you don't get sniped from the hyper laser up there. Here, so you don't have a blooming skateboard just straight go there, or like a shuriken. You have to actually go around. That is a great change. I think genuinely this map went from the middest map, probably not below mid, to a semi-decent map, which is good. I think still this whole area just having an insane amount of openness to it is kind of meh. The point still, in general, like, I don't think having nothing on the point is that much of an issue. But, like, having the point completely bare, making it so you can not at all sort of run away, or, like, hide or, like, take cover on point, it's a thing. Some maps do it, some maps don't do it, which is kind of my thing. I don't think it's that much of an issue. I feel like it's a very much a non-issue, something which I need to stop complaining about, and it's, in all honesty, it would not change the gameplay that much. I feel like just this map has gotten that much better. Again, Annihilate, hate Annihilate. The Annihilate maps kind of just make me hate it more. Why have so many got such massive sightlines? Laundromat is a horrible map in my opinion. Not horrible, it's a mid map. I don't enjoy it. I like the halftime thing, but let's be honest, no one is fighting on the floor. You're gonna see a fight on the floor like every once a century. It doesn't change anything, to be honest. Hyper laser is broken on that map. Not broken, but incredibly strong. You've got what else is there to talk about? I don't think Domino Valley's change. A good change. I'm not actually sure if I've been close enough to my mic, so it might be cutting out a lot. Good change. I think genuinely a really positive change, and I think still a bad map, but it's better. You can hide from the hyper now. Yeah, I genuinely love this map now. Protect talent. Like, I don't love it, but it's better. The existing maps. In my opinion, my favorite map in the game, simply because of the gimmick it has, is Teapot's Observatory. I like how the point constantly is changing and isn't in one single spot. I feel like that could possibly be a new game mode. It has potential to be a new game mode. It wouldn't really be different to Conquer, but I feel like it could definitely play very different. You could end up being more defensive at points, or I think potential, right? Escort maps, the Raven Rock change makes the map more bearable. Still is a terrible map, and I will continue to say that. If you look at like a maps like the push maps from Overwatch, there's one. What is it? What's its name? I don't know the name of any of the push maps from Overwatch, but there's one map which isn't as defensive. Actually, no, it's quite literally is. Anyways, Raven Rock still has the same issues it had before, except it's kind of better. It is a lot better than it was before. I feel like just adding that bridge and adding up the more open areas, it helps the map kind of feel more connected, because it feels like the spawns were definitely too like obscure. I do think something which continues to stay relevant when it comes to escort maps is that the spawn is too close to the end of the track. Have you actually ever seen a team make it to the end of the track when it comes to escort? Because I sure haven't. because people just keep respawning, and you never actually get the chance to, which isn't a bad thing, but the fact that you really don't have a chance to do it is pretty much, yeah. Again, Escort is going to have the same issues as it had before. Still waiting on, still hoping for a rework when it comes to the next festival. The next festival is said to be really big, so I wonder if there's a chance. There's a chance it ends up being reworked and changed, and I hope it does get changed. I feel like the main issue right now when it comes to Escort is the fact that it's so incredibly tank reliant, which is kind of a big issue because, well, we only have 2 tanks in the game, and people don't enjoy tanks, so, you know, you end up having to swap in for that tank, and you lose because your team doesn't actually know how to play the character. Yeah, pretty much. But as I've said a million times before, Escort could genuinely be the best game mode if it wasn't for the fact that there's just so many things wrong with it. I, again, can't tell you what the things wrong with it are, but, you know, lots of people say there's stuff wrong with it, so I'm going to believe them. Herd mentality. Herd mentality. I do know there's issues, because, you know, every game you play, it always feels incredibly one-sided and really lame. But that's also very much a... that's very much an open issue, right? Not much to say about it anymore, I guess. I don't know what else to say about it. What else do I say? What else do I say about maps? Is there anything else to say? I don't think so. I guess I could talk about how the dual maps are bad. I don't know. What conquer maps do I not like? I really don't like Space Knights. I feel like Hyperlaser will always be an issue. Hyperlaser is going to be an issue until they get better rework. I don't know if people agree. I don't know. Like, I know that comp is a very different scene, and I feel like, in general, when it comes to balancing, I feel like the devs should listen to them a little bit more, maybe when it comes to a few characters, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. We don't know. Because obviously, not everyone plays comp, right? I don't play comp, but I guess what I'm trying to say is that I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, Annihilate maps are an issue, and I don't know why I'm saying that about balancing. The balancing is not an issue. Shuriken and Vine Staff are definitely weak, the poor siblings. I feel like there's been a lot of times where I've just been able to 1v1 a Shuriken as Vine Staff and win. Vine has quite good DPS if you're actually hitting all your shots, which is good. Shuriken, very dependent on the back shots and hitting the back, and if you don't, then you're basically not doing enough damage. This damn microphone echoing is peeing me off. Because why did it just decide to randomly start echoing for no reason? Oh my god, so frustrating. Anyways, that's the end of the video. I don't have anything else to talk about. I have nada.